Hey everyone, what's going on? I'm your host Calamity here for another episode of the Anything Goes podcast. We have a lot to talk about today, a lot of NFL free agency to talk about, which I think I'm going to leave for last. We usually start with the NFL, but because there's so much news with signings and everything, I think we're going to probably leave that for the end. We're going to start off with, we actually have a little bit of golf news, which I know probably a lot of people won't really care about golf that much, but it's sort of golf and video games, and it's interesting. So yeah, we're just gonna get right into it. It has to do with Tiger Woods actually. Tiger Woods agrees to a long-term deal with 2K for PGA Tour 2K video game series. So PGA Tour and 2K, they have an agreement where they do the PGA Tour 2K every year. Which now there's actually going to be probably Tiger Woods PGA Tour 2K, which is probably going to be the name of it. So they've reached a long-term deal. Now this was during, I don't know if these talks took place during or before Tiger Woods' accident 2 weeks ago, a week ago, where he was pretty seriously injured. But they announced this past week. Which is very interesting. And then if we go to NCAA basketball, we have Kansas missed the Big 12 tournament because of a player testing positive for COVID-19, so they will not be in the March Madness tournament as well. Illinois wins the Big 10 championship, and Duke and Kentucky will not be in the March Madness tournament for the first time since 1976. That's bad news, but in this year, it's not really surprising. Duke and Kentucky. Actually, Duke missed because of COVID-19. I don't know about Kentucky. I haven't heard anything about them having a COVID-19 case, so it might be a playoff ban or something. But either way, it's the first time that neither team will be in the tournament since 1976, which is obviously a really long time. Now, if we go to baseball, really just two pieces of news there since baseball is just only in spring training. Nick Markakis announced his retirement after 15 years. I remember him. I think he's played on the Orioles for either most or all of his career. That's the only team I really remember him playing for, so I want to say all of his career. But he was a good outfielder. I really remember him for his defensive ability, not really his offensive, but I mean, he was good offensively too, but for me, what stuck out was his defense. Pending MLB approval, LeBron James is now part owner of the Boston Red Sox. Now, this is interesting for me because I'm not a LeBron James fan, but I am a Boston Red Sox fan. It's also interesting because he's an active NBA player. I want to say he's going to be the first active player to own a team in another sport, because I don't really recall anyone as an active player owning another team in another sport. I could be wrong. I'm probably wrong because I feel like they would have said this, but it's definitely interesting. Again, it's pending MLB approval, which I don't see why they would not allow it. But I'm interested to see where he takes the Red Sox. Now, I don't really know what he has control over. He is part owner, so there's other partners that he has to talk to before anything happens, I believe. So I just thought that was interesting. And then we got some NBA news here. We have Oklahoma City trades. I'm going to butcher these names, but just bear with me here. Hamidou Diallo to Detroit for Svi Mikhailiuk and a 2027 second-round pick. Those names are really hard to try and sound out, let alone pronounce. Carmelo Anthony passes Hakeem Olajuwon for 11th on the all-time scoring list. I like Carmelo Anthony. To see him get up that list is pretty cool. He'll probably be retiring in a couple years, if not this year. So it'll be a sad day to see him leave. Oklahoma City also traded Trevor Ariza to the Heat for Myers Leonard and a second-round pick. Now, Myers Leonard hasn't been he hasn't been active with the Heat since he got suspended for his slur that he used while live streaming. And Oklahoma City said he is not in their plans for their future. So I think they just kind of cleared some cap space and got a draft pick with him. So they just said, whatever, we'll do it. The Rockets traded P.J. Tucker, Rodions Crux, I think is how you say his name, and the 2022 first round pick from the Bucks to the Bucks for DJ Augustine, DJ Wilson, and a 2023 unprotected first round pick. PJ Tucker and the Rockets are mutually agreed to part ways earlier, I think last week, and this is just them kind of finalizing that trade to Milwaukee. Didn't really get anything really back for him. I mean, they sent a first round pick back to the Bucks, which the Bucks gave them. I mean, they got a 2023 unprotected first round pick, which is okay. DJ Augustine, okay. DJ Wilson, I haven't really heard much about him, so he must be pretty young and up and coming, I guess. We got two things before we get into the NFL, which, again, there's a lot. If you guys could see my notes right now, it is pretty long with just NFL news. We'll go with the esports. So this is mainly Call of Duty again. That's the game that I follow, and everything that I know about video games is usually COD related. So Call of Duty. So they established the new groups for Stage 2 of the CDL. Group 1 is LA Thieves, LA Guerrillas, London Royal Ravens, New York Subliners, Atlanta FaZe, and Toronto Ultra. Group number 2 is Dallas Empire, Chicago Optic, Florida Mutineers, Paris Legion, Minnesota Rocker, and Seattle Surge. I think they're pretty well balanced after Stage 1. Stage 1, they were kind of unbalanced, I would say. But Stage 2 looks pretty well balanced. I know Atlanta, I think, had a major say in the groups, and I think they did pretty good. I mean, I think it's pretty balanced. Stage 2 is going to be interesting. I'm not sure when the major is for Stage 2. It's towards the end of Stage 2, obviously, but I don't know if that's like April. I'm assuming it's like mid-April, maybe late April. But I'm gonna pick Chicago again. I know that actually no, I did pick Chicago for Major 1, but I picked them as like my second pick. But I'm gonna go with them as my first pick for Stage 2. And then after that, I'd say Dallas. Chicago or Dallas coming out of that second group, I think, will be the winners of the second major. And now we go to entertainment. Entertainment, we have The Batman has wrapped filming, so I can't wait for that to come out. Not really a big DC fan in terms of movies, but that one looks really good. I'm excited to see it. And going to Marvel a little bit, we got Kingsley Ben-Adir, I hope I said his name right, has been cast as the main villain for Secret Invasion. So, interesting piece of news there. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is now filming, and I think it's going to be released next year. And a couple things for the Marvel Cinematic Universe timeline. They announced that WandaVision takes place a few weeks after Endgame, and The Falcon and Winter Soldier takes place 6 months after Endgame. So just a kind of a timeline update there. Peter Pan and Wendy has started production, starring Jude Law, and I think Jude Law is playing Captain Hook, and Yara Shahidi, who played Monica on WandaVision, she is playing Tinkerbell, so that'll be interesting. Clone Wars is coming to Disney Plus April 2nd. Puss in Boots 2 will release September 23rd, 2022. And Venom Let There Be Carnage, wow, I almost just butchered that, will release September 17th, 2021. Excited for the second Venom movie. I haven't seen the first one. I'm planning on watching it very soon. I've heard really good things about it, so we will see. Now, we get into the NFL news, which, again, there is a lot. So, I'm just going right down the list of how it happened. I don't really have the days listed, but I know these have all happened since Monday when free agency started. So the first one that I saw was Mark Ingram signed with the Houston Texans on a 1-year deal. And then right after that was Cam Newton re-signs with New England on a 1-year, $14 million deal. I'm okay with this. Again, I kind of figured this was going to happen. A lot of people were disappointed that he re-signed with New England, but I'm okay with it. I figured it was going to happen because they really, to me, didn't really seem like they were going to make a splash at quarterback this year unless they draft one, which I think they're going to. And I think Cam Newton is going to be the sort of bridge quarterback that he was supposed to be last year. I think they really wanted Jarrett Stidham to work out, and I don't think he's going to work out, and he hasn't worked out. So I think they're going to draft a quarterback with their first pick this year if they don't trade up. Even if they trade up, I still think they're going to get a quarterback, and I think he's going to be under Cam Newton. Cam Newton's going to be the quarterback of the Patriots this year. And then next year, that rookie, if he plays out, which I hope he does, he will take over for Cam Newton. Tom Brady and the Bucs restructure his deal. He will be with the Bucs until 2022, and he saves the Bucs about $18 million this year against the cap. So definitely helps them make some moves, which Brady has been known to do. Emmanuel Mosley signs a 2-year deal with the San Francisco 49ers. The Lions released Jesse James and Justin Coleman. Chargers released Casey Hayward, who's a pretty good cornerback. I haven't heard anything about him yet. Aaron Jones and the Packers agree to a 4-year deal worth $48 million. Very good signing for the Packers to kind of shore up their running back for 4 years. And then we got Drew Brees announced his retirement. It's a big loss for New Orleans. I thought he was going to stay around for one more year and try and win another Super Bowl, but I think he just said, I'm kind of done. And following that news, Saints and Taysom Hill restructured his 4-year, $140 million deal, saving them $7.5 million, which is interesting because Taysom Hill is quarterback, but he has also played like wide receiver, running back. He kind of does whatever they want for him, so I guess, he does whatever they want. I don't know what their plan is. I know we'll get into another signing that they did later on in a little bit, actually. But I guess I'll go over that then. Mario Edwards re-signs with the Bears on a 3-year, $11.55 million deal. Bills re-signed guard John Feliciano to a 3-year deal. Texans trade linebacker Benardrick McKinney to Miami for Shaq Lawson. So Texans kind of upgrading their offensive line there. Baltimore and guard Kevin Zeitler agreed to a 3-year, $22.5 million deal. Jacksonville and guard Andrew Norwell has agreed to restructure his 1-year deal. And then we have, 6 deals for New England Patriots in a row right here. And I am excited about every single one. I guess I'm excited about 4 of them. The 5th one, I have to see it to kind of believe it. But anyways, New England and tight end Jonnu Smith agreed to a 4-year deal worth $50 million. Really excited about that one. New England and defensive back Jalen Mills agreed to a 4-year, $24 million deal. Really excited about that one, especially since they kept J.C. Jackson and they're keeping Stephon Gilmore. So their defensive backs should be pretty good for the next year at least. They also signed linebacker Matt Judon to a 4-year, $56 million deal. Really excited about that one. Kind of shores up our linebackers too. New England also signs defensive tackle Devon Godchow, I think is how you say his name. A lot of weird names this year. To a 2-year, $16 million deal. New England signs Kendrick Bourne, wide receiver from the 49ers, to a 3-year, $22.5 million deal. And New England also signs Nelson Aguilar. I didn't find anything really on his deal, which is surprising because I've found stuff on like everyone else's. But later on you'll see that too. I mean, sometimes they just don't release like the facts or the numbers. But the one I'm not entirely excited about, the one I need to see to believe, is Nelson Aguilar. He's had some, let's say, catching problems in the past, and Cam Newton is known to throw a pretty hard football. So I'm interested to see how that goes. I think he's a good wide receiver, but he does have a case of the drops sometimes. So we'll see. Hopefully he can figure it out. Then we go to Shaq, and trust me, the Patriots are not done yet. Somehow they're not done yet. They made all those moves on day one, and that's the most moves they've done in the last 10 years, and they did it on the first day of free agency. So very interesting, very excited for me as a Patriots fan. And I don't think we're going to win the Super Bowl. I'm not, crazy, but I expect us to be a playoff team, at least. So we'll see. Then we got Shaq Barrett and the Bucks agree to a 4-year, $72 million extension. Jets and linebacker, it's either Jared or Gerard Davis, 1-year, $7 million deal. San Francisco and cornerback Jason Verrett agreed to a 1-year deal. Tampa Bay and Rob Gronkowski agreed to a 1-year deal for $10 million. The Rams and Leonard Floyd agreed to a 4-year, $64 million deal. Denver signs cornerback Ronald Darby. Kansas City signs Joe Thuney to a 5-year, $80 million deal, stealing him from the Patriots, unfortunately. But we also traded to get Trent Brown from the Raiders, so I'm okay with it. The Raiders signed Unique Ngakoue. Browns signed John Johnson III to a 3-year, $33.75 million deal. Jacksonville signs Philip Dorsett. Jameis Winston re-signs with the Saints on a 1-year, $12 million deal. This was the other Saints deal I was talking about. I don't know what that means for their quarterback situation. My guess is they're going to use Jameis Winston like Drew Brees, not in the sense that they're going to play him like they would Drew Brees, but he's going to be the starting quarterback, and Taysom Hill is he's going to be the backup quarterback as well as being that sort of wildcat quarterback where he's either a running back, tight end, wide receiver, whatever. They're going to continue to use him like that. That's my idea. I don't know if that's true or not. They could also sign another quarterback and just throw that plan in the trash. Titans signed Bud Dupree. I really wanted the Patriots to get Bud Dupree, but with all the other signings they got, I'm okay with it. Bengals signed defensive end Trey Hendrickson. The Chargers and Matt Feeler agreed to a 3-year, $21 million deal. Jacksonville signs Carlos Hyde. The Jets signed Corey Davis and Carl Lawson. Washington football team signs Ryan Fitzpatrick. Interesting deal there. If I was Washington, I would stay with Alex Smith, but I get it. I don't get it, because you can say his age all you want, but Ryan Fitzpatrick is up there too. So, I don't know what their plan is in Washington, but we'll see. New England also signs tight end Hunter Henry, and this was the deal I am most excited about. I wanted them to get him before free agency even started. If you go back into the previous podcast, I think I said that. I definitely have said it to people around me, but I don't know if I'm pretty sure I've said it on the podcast before. But I'm excited. They got Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry I'm good. They got wide receiver weapons. I really wanted them to get Kenny Golladay, who was still available. And like I said, they're not done yet, so we'll see. Saints release Quan Alexander. Jacksonville signs Shaquille Griffin. Cowboys sign C.J. Goodwin. Giants sign Leonard Williams and John Ross. Dallas and Ty Nsekhe agree to a deal. Chicago signs Andy Dalton after missing out on Russell Wilson. I believe they said that they offered Seattle 3 first-round picks for Wilson and other stuff, like players. And Seattle said they're not trading him at this time, so that was kind of upsetting for Chicago, but at least you tried. You did what you could. Seattle just wasn't budging. Miami signs quarterback Jacoby Brissett. Backup for Tua, I'm assuming. Jacksonville signs Marvin Jones. Pretty good signing for Jacksonville. Houston signs Tyrod Taylor for insurance for Deshaun Watson with everything that's going on with him. He's requested a trade. There's been women coming out saying that he's harassed them or assaulted them, one of the two. There's a difference, but I just can't remember if it's harassed or assaulted. He has denied it, but again, you're innocent until proven guilty. Which I'd be very surprised if he was guilty about it, but hey, you never know these days. Bills signed Emmanuel Sanders. So they'll have Emmanuel Sanders and Stephon Diggs, pretty good wide receivers there. Washington football team signed William Jackson III. San Francisco signs Alex Mack. Really good signing for the offensive line. The Raiders signed John Brown, good wide receiver for the Raiders and for Derek Carr to throw to. Arizona signs A.J. Green, shoring up their wide receiver core if Larry Fitzgerald retires or doesn't. They'll be fine either way. The Raiders trade guard Rodney Hudson and a 7th-round pick to Arizona for a 3rd-round pick. Kyle Long comes out of retirement and signs a 1-year deal with Kansas City, so Kansas City's offensive line looking pretty good after they had to release 2 of their offensive linemen. Kicker Matt Prater signs with Arizona as well. Cornerback Patrick Peterson, formerly of the Cardinals, signs with Minnesota. And 2 more signings, 1 more with New England here. Washington football team signs Curtis Samuel, good wide receiver from Carolina there. And New England brings back linebacker Kyle Van Noy, which I am really excited about. I didn't want him to leave in the first place, and now he's back. And that was, 3 days of free agency right there. So as you can see, I had a lot of NFL free agency signings to go over. Some of them not too major. There's still plenty of people out there. I think Juju Smith-Schuster is one of them. Kenny Golladay is another one. Just off the top of my head, I think that's all I can think of off the top of my head. But there's still plenty of time for free agency, and from what I've heard, my Patriots are not done yet. I'm hoping that means Kenny Golladay, and if they sign Kenny Golladay, I think they're done. They don't have to do any more signings or anything. They did just lose, however, actually I didn't put that in my notes. They did just lose Patrick Chung to retirement, so that's unfortunate. I did not expect that. He opted out last season because of COVID-19. Earlier he had said he was coming back this year, but apparently he's retiring. So that kind of sucks. But he was older. He was a safety, which they have pretty good development at the safety position, so I think they'll be all right. Again, I don't expect them to win the Super Bowl. Even if they were to sign Kenny Golladay, I don't expect that. I expect them to be a playoff team, though, right now. And if they sign Kenny Golladay, that just means they'll go a little bit further in the playoffs. But I think until you get a pretty solid quarterback, which I think Cam Newton's a good quarterback. Didn't like last year, obviously. He was disappointed, but I expect him to return to his somewhat normal self this year. Definitely better than last year. And I think if he gets better, and if we sign Kenny Golladay, we'll probably make it to the conference semis or the conference finals. I don't expect a Super Bowl. I don't even expect to make it to the Super Bowl. I expect us to lose to either Kansas City or even Buffalo. I could see Buffalo beating us, or even I almost said New England, Miami. Honestly, I would say the Steelers, but they haven't done anything. Like, they lost Bud Dupree. That was like their big loss on defense. I haven't heard them signing anyone. Like, they're not replacing anyone. So I don't really see them getting much better. And they might lose Juju Smith-Schuster. So, like, I don't know. We'll see. But that's kind of what I expect. Next week I will have reaction to not Captain America, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, because that comes out tomorrow. I'm really excited for that. I think that's going to be my favorite it's going to be my favorite show, I feel like, and it's going to be probably one of my favorite, like, Marvel things to watch of all time. Maybe I'm overhyping it, I don't know, but I'm excited for it. I will also have next week, I will have a mock draft of the NFL draft. So I'm going to pick where the players, I think, where they should go, where they should get picked. I'm only going to do it for the first round just because second round or all the other rounds kind of would take too long. And I don't want to say the players down there don't matter, but because they certainly don't. I mean, look at Tom Brady, who's picked last in the draft, and he's the GOAT. But first round is kind of what everyone focuses on, so I'm going to do the first round only and kind of do my predictions. If players or if teams will trade up, trade down, what they'll do. I'm going to do a whole mock draft of the first round with all that stuff. So I'll have that. I have the Falcon Winter Soldier to go over. I'm trying to think of anything else. Any other free agency news I'll talk about, or anything else that happens in any of those sports leagues or esports or entertainment, I will have that here. All of my sporting news I got from Adam Schefter and Ian Rappaport. And let's see, all my entertainment stuff came from Culture Crave on Twitter. So pay attention to those guys if you want like in the now news, like real time news on any of that stuff. Go to those guys on Twitter. I'm sure you guys already know of all of them. And I think that's going to do it for today. I will see you guys next week, and be sure to like, subscribe, follow on Twitter. I'm going to be coming out with another Call of Duty video later today. It's 10:12, so yeah. Later today I'll have another Call of Duty episode on my YouTube, and I will see you guys next week. See ya.